Oh, David, welcome. Welcome.
Hello, I'm
Hello.
here.
So, David, we're going to be starting your presentation, and I'm really looking forward to this because I heard you
Mm.
before. Please, when you start, say who you are, where you're from, where do you live, and then give us your presentation, please.
Mm. With my presentation, I was planning to introduce myself a bit later on, around one slide after I start
It's okay.
presenting.
It's your story. So
Okay,
anytime you're ready. Thank you.
okay, thank you. I'll begin to share my screen. Okay, there, can you see it?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, pretty clear.
So today I will be talking about positivity, similar to one of the presentations that was done earlier on by Aaron and Robert. I really liked how they were talking about the mindset. That's what I'll be discussing a bit today. So, on to positivity, before I get started, I just want to say one thing is that for those who will be listening live or watching the recording later, I'd want you guys to listen in and try to take down note and actually apply what I'm going to be saying. Well, it's up to you. For this, why I'm saying this, it's because I do not want to waste your time for you to listen to me for 30 minutes or 40 minutes and end up learning nothing. So I will now get on to the positivity. So in the positivity, before we get into that, I'm going to now introduce myself. I am David Nitafan. I'm 15 years old. I have been homeschooling since I was grade 1, and I'm currently grade 11. I live in Manila, inside Philippines, and I have been living here my whole life. So I have led a lot of different classes before and a lot of students before as well. So I'd like to introduce you guys to positive thinking. And why should you even be positive in the first place? Well, how does positive thinking help? How does that benefit you? It will help you, let's say, be happier, more relaxed. How so? Well, when you're more positive, you will be happier and you will be able to make others happier as well. That's kind of vague. So being positive, you look for the bright side of things. You look for the good in things, and you're happy. You're always smiling, and if you're smiling, it's infectious. Other people around you will begin to smile as well, and then they'll feel comfortable around you and relaxed. So if they're relaxed, you will also be relaxed in your mental state. How does being positive help you be more relaxed, calm, and organized mentally? Well, if you're looking at the good side of things rather than the bad side of things, a lot of the things that restrict people from improving, from growing, and doing things is usually fear or anxiousness, the fear of being judged by others, the fear of failing, the fear of what bad things might happen. When you think positively, you will be able to you will not think of those things anymore, but instead think of what things can I do to make this happen? What good things come out of this? And you will not really pay much attention to what bad stuff other people tell you. So, in my experience, let's say I'll give you guys an example. If someone comes to you and says, let's say for the audience, it's like you're playing a video game, and someone says you're bad at it, or you're singing. Someone says you're bad at singing. There are a bunch of ways you can take that in. There's one where if someone calls you bad at singing, you will be scared to sing again. You will think that you're bad at singing and you will never be good at singing. So that's a negative approach of it. So how should you do it? If someone says you're bad at singing, if you actually are bad at singing, then you ask them, then how would you want me to sing better? How can I sing better? And you say, thank you. Even though they are saying something bad about you, say, thank you. I thank you for pointing that out. I'll work on it next time. I'll work on it. I'll be better at singing. So it's you never focus on the mistakes that's being made or has been done. You focus on how to make those mistakes correct. How do you make the wrong a right? Because some people usually are stuck on their past mistakes and they have so many regrets, and it stops them from improving and growing because they're stuck on that. They're afraid. And when you're talking to others, that's what you do as well. You talk about their mistakes and you bring them down, which is why in here you have to bring others up and never let others bring you down. So with more relaxed, how will you be more calm? You will be more calm because you're no longer really overthinking what bad things might happen or what bad things can go wrong, because you will then try to find out, how can I actually make it right? How do I avoid making those mistakes again? So you will be more relaxed and calm. You will not worry about what other people have to say. Another thing that I've noticed, when someone wants to change for the better, they're afraid that people will tell them that doesn't seem like something that you would do. They're not being consistent anymore with what it is that they're doing. Since they're changing to better themselves, they're usually stuck in that loop where they can never go out of their comfort zone, even if it is to better themselves. Because as humans, we want to stay as consistent as possible. So that's one fear that people are afraid of when they want to better themselves, is why you wouldn't be the same person before, and people might not see it in a good way if you change. They might say, yeah, as I said, that's not something that I think you would do. But in this case, who are they to tell you that? Because you're you. No matter what they say, it's what you let into your mind that actually is important. It's a major thing. No matter what other people tell you, be it good or bad, it's what you let in your mind and act upon that matters. You can be around hundreds of negative people saying bad stuff, insults all the time, and come out positive and come out the same person you were when you came in, because you didn't really let any of those bad stuff in. And same thing can happen if you're in a place where everyone's being positive, everyone's nice, everyone's lifting each other up, everyone's helping each other improve. In that, it's your choice to learn from them. It's your choice to get get inspiration from them and be better by learning from others. And at the same time, you can choose not to and just waste that opportunity, which is why the title of this presentation is Infinite Possibilities with Positivity. Because you will be more open, a lot of possibilities, a lot of opportunities will now be open, and you will be able to take it. They're always there. They're always there. No matter, every single day, you have thousands of opportunities. It's up to you to take up which one you will want to take. So going on to the next part, content and self-esteem. Content, when you're positive about yourself and the stuff around you, and you look for the good side of things, you'll be more thankful and glad of the people, the things, the blessings that's being given to you, and the resources that you have. Since if you're content with what you have, you will also not really be jealous of others. but instead you will be able to be glad for others' success. For if you're appreciative and content with what it is that you have, you wouldn't bring down others just because they're doing well. You wouldn't think bad of others just because they're doing well. Because there's a lot of people like that. When someone younger than them is doing better than them, they'll get demotivated, they'll get a bit frustrated, and they might not like that person, especially if they're better than them. And if you're content with what you have, then you'll be content with others as well. You're okay with them being better. And that goes with self-esteem. With positivity, you will be a lot more confident, happy, and as I said, content and loving with yourself. A lot of people actually do not get brought down by others that often compared to how often they bring down themselves. We always limit ourselves subconsciously or consciously, thinking we can't do this, we can't do that, and you're never happy with yourself. You're never happy with the things that you're able to do. You're not happy with the things that you have made because you think, I this is bad. I could have done better. Yeah, that's right. You could have done better. You don't say that this is bad. You put time and work into it. It's not that it's bad, but it could improve. It wasn't a mistake. It's just something that you can work on. And as I said earlier, never give up and keep on trying. It's not a mistake. It's just a lesson that there's a way that you can improve and do it better. And you will be happy with yourself because you're no longer comparing yourself with other people, but to yourself. Thinking, how can I be a better person each and every single day? How can I be proud? How can I make others proud of me? And how can I be proud of myself? What can I do today that will make people happy and help other people? And how can I help myself? Because a lot of people nowadays, they're always focused on other people and they tend to forget themselves. So in positivity, the first thing that you will need to learn to become positive is to accept yourself, accept the mistakes that you have made, accept that there are some things that you can do and there's some things that others can do even better. Because some people get demotivated because someone can do something better than them. And some people get even more motivated and they're competitive. So with self-esteem, how will you become more loving with yourself? You will treat yourself better because there are some people that are extremely negative to themselves to the point that they might actually physically hurt themselves and they'll bring themselves down, they'll belittle themselves, and they'll always be stuck in that thought. They'll always think that they're never enough, they're never good enough, they can never be as good as others. But that's not true. And you shouldn't compare yourselves to others because that's not you. You have to compare yourself to yourself and learn to become better each and every single day. With self-esteem, you'll be more confident. For like myself right now, I was not like this before. I was very, what's it called? I was a bit anxious when I began presenting back then, when I began performing. And now I'm more confident, even though some things may go wrong. It's fine. At least I'm having fun doing it. At least I'm able to do it. At least I make other people happy and make them learn something. And it's fun for me, that is. Not everyone finds joy in sharing their experiences or knowledge. So, what's it called? How does positivity affect those around you? Okay, I'll give you guys an example. Imagine two people. So let's say A and B. Person A is someone that makes a bunch of excuses, complains, and sometimes says bad things about you. Sometimes, not all the time. But they're a great person overall, but they just do that. And there's person B who's always happy, always smiling, always saying good stuff about you. And they're also a great person. Both of them, let's say they're equals in terms of everything they do. They're as smart as each other, they're as good as each other, but it's just those two things. Who would you want to spend more time with? Who would you want to be around? There might be a small amount of people that will say A, but I'm sure majority will pick B, the happier and more energetic person, because they're giving that energy onto you as well. It makes people happy to be around you. Being positive brings other people up rather than bringing them down. With what I said earlier, never let others bring you down and keep bringing yourself up. Once you're able to do that, you then begin to lift others up. You help them grow. Positivity, as well as smiling, it's infectious, but not to all. There are some people that don't really like the positivity and they're so used to the negativity. And then I've seen some cases and heard of some cases where positivity, becoming positive, it's really hard. It's not an easy task. It's really not. Even though I'm saying all of this, these are just words. Applying it in real life, it's hard for the environment around you, the people around you. They won't change just because you know this, and they won't easily change if you tell them to be positive. The phrase, be positive, that usually just goes over your head. It's the same with the phrase, be happy. Just be happy. It just goes over your head and you don't really think much about it. So same thing goes with just be positive about things. Have you ever sorrowfully thought, should I actually be positive? Am I being positive? What good things can come out of me being positive? It not only benefits you, but those around you as well. And how it affects those around you, a lot of people will want to spend more time with you. A lot of people will feel comfortable around you. A lot of people will want to talk and hang out with you if you're positive and you're always happy, always smiling. I've never met a person that's always happy and energetic that doesn't have at least one friend with them or cannot make a friend. Those people attract the attention in a good way because they're also giving the attention that they have onto others, complimenting others, saying good things about others. So I've talked a lot about positivity and what good it does for you. So how can you be positive? Well, these are just some tips and suggestions and advice that I'd like to give. Number one would be you find what you look for. That's a phrase that can be used in so many things. You find what you look for. So go find and look for the positive side of things, the good in things. Same with other people. If you keep looking for the bad, you'll always find the bad. If you look for the good, you will find the good. If you keep looking at the bad of other people, that's all you will see. And it'll be hard to make friends and you will grow to resent people and it'll be easy to get angry and sad if you look for the bad things. But if you look for the good things, you will be able to make friends, make connections, and you will be happier as well, knowing that the people around you are great people and that they're good people because that's what you find inside them. But if you find the bad, no matter how good someone is, you'll always find a way to find some bad in them. No one is perfect. So if you keep looking for the bad in people, you'll never find a good person. If you keep finding for good people, it'll be rare to find a bad person. So the second step is instead of focusing on what's wrong, go and find a way to make it right. So for example, let me think of an example. Let's say, let's go back to the singing. the singing. If I'm singing wrong, and then my teacher tells me that I'm wrong, it's not that, oh no, I'm wrong. I'm never I don't want to do this anymore. My teacher said I'm wrong. Then it just brought me down. That's not how it works. Just because your teacher says you did it wrong, does it mean that you'll be stuck there? No, their job is to help you and tell you the way to make it right. Not every case you'll have a teacher. So in cases where you don't have a teacher and you're alone and you make a mistake on yourself by yourself, you don't focus on the wrong, you find a way to make it right. Most teachers do that, right? Some teachers will focus on the wrong, but the teacher's main job is to make sure that their students are able to do it right. Like in math, let's say a simple equation, 6 plus 4. I say it's 9, and then I'm now so afraid to do that equation again because I did it wrong. I might fail again. People might laugh at me. That stops me from trying to find a way to make it right. You have to find a way to make it right so that you don't make that mistake again. So the third step is always think of how you can make the best out of every situation you are in. If you're in a tough position in life right now, find a way to make the best out of it. And don't be brought down by it. Try to figure out a way to make it good again, to make do with what you have. And if you're in a good position in life, you're living a great life, then make the best out of it and make sure that that stays like that. And so that it doesn't go back down to something bad. Now, going down, on step 4 would be never let others bring you down, and instead use it to propel you forward. As I said, some people might say some bad things about you. You can either choose to ignore it, to feel bad about it, or to improve on it. If it's something that usually, in my experience and how I handle insults, usually if someone says something bad about me, I'll laugh, especially if it isn't true. I'm gonna be laughing in my head, but I won't be laughing while they're saying it because that's gonna be kind of weird. I'm insulting him, but he's laughing. That's not the reaction I wanted from him. Usually I'll just say, oh, is that so? Okay. Respect the other person's opinion and idea. You can say all you want about me. You can think all the stuff that you want to think. It won't affect me. Or you can use it to affect you in a good way. So such as the singing earlier, someone calls you bad at singing. You can then think, oh yeah, I am bad at singing. I didn't think I was bad at singing. Thank you for pointing it out. I'll now work on doing it better. So let's say this presentation, someone says I did something wrong in the presentation. Then it's not going to stop me from doing presentations in the future. I'll just avoid doing that in the future and I'll thank them. You have to always thank people because the same way that you want to be thanked when you have done something for someone, others would want that as well. You have to thank them, show them your gratitude and appreciation for what they have done for you. And because of that, they might keep doing it. They might keep giving you help because you're grateful. For example, I was in one situation. Let's say I was given my favorite candy. One piece of my favorite candy, just one piece. Let's say it's a chocolate bar called Snickers. They give me one of those. There's three main ways people can take it. One, they'll get mad at the person for giving them only one. Why did you give me one? You could have given me more. Why did you only give me one? And you're going to get a bit angry at that person. And then that person will not want to give you more. They will not want to give you more candy in the future because you're angry that they gave you one. And they gave you one just because they didn't give it to you because you paid for it. They just gave it to you for no reason at all. Then another one would be same thing, but sad. You will be sad that, uh, you only gave me one candy. I wanted two. Rather than what I suggest you guys can do, just be grateful and happy. So it's like, it's your favorite candy, even if it's just one. It's not a lot, even if it's minuscule. Like, wow, thank you. You're so thoughtful. Thank you for giving me this. I really appreciate it. Thank you for the gesture. How can I make it up for you? They'll be happy and they'll want to give you more in the future. Would you want to give something to someone if they got angry when you gave it to them, when they were sad, or when they were happy? When they were happy, a lot of people want to make other people happy. So they'll do good things for you. Same thing that you should do for others. You should do stuff that help other people, not only for your own benefit. It's not always about you. It's also about the other people. You have to be respectful to other people. So that's one thing on being positive as well. And the fifth step, if there is a future that you want, think of a way that you can do now to achieve it. I have seen a lot of people think of a future. Let's say, I want to be an architect. I want to be good at this. That would be good if this happened to me in the future. I would love this to happen to me in the future. They're just wishing those. Okay? It's like the phrase, if there's a will, there is a way. If there's a future that you want, you have to think of ways that you can do to make it happen. Because there's also a negative way of thinking of the future. Some bad things might happen. Oh no, what I'm going to do, bad stuff will happen. Bad stuff might happen. I don't want, if that happens, this is all ruined. I don't want to do it anymore because this can happen. Well, even if that does happen, you shouldn't let it stop you. You should think of a future and work with the present to make it happen. If the future is uncertain, do your best to make your future certain. Even if it's uncertain that you will become an architect in the future, if you really want to and you put in the work and the effort into, then you will be able to achieve it. And for the sixth step, it is you who decides what to feel. You can never say that you're sad or angry and happy because of what other people have done. You can't say that you're irritated, annoyed, disgusted, or afraid just because someone else did something. It is you who decides what to feel. Just like in the candy example, it's the same scenario. It's the same situation. It's the same thing that was given to you, but each one was different because you chose a different way to feel. The first one, you felt angry. The second one, you were sad. The third one, you were happy. Same thing with what other people tell you and your current mood. You can never say that you're lazy. I'm lazy because of the weather. It's cold. I want to rest. Yeah, you might want to rest. That is true. But there's people that are working even though it's cold. It's you who's feeling that and wants to feel that. Same with anger. If you're irritated at someone or they're doing something that annoys you, it's your choice to get mad at them or to let it be. And same with the insults earlier. If someone insults you, a lot of people will get mad and insult them back. Rarely will people be kind. Rarely will people be kind to someone that did something wrong to them. But if what you do to them is wrong as well, you're no better than they are, and they'll keep doing it. They won't change. For me, there was a time, I'll just share a little story. There was a time where a bully kept insulting me and physically hurting me sometimes. And I forgave him. I treated him kindly and with respect. And he changed. He's now a better person. And he is a kinder person now because I first showed him the kindness. But this does not always apply to everyone. Okay. So just because you're good to someone doesn't mean that they'll do good to you. Do not do things so that good things will happen. Hey, how do I say this? Do not do things just for other people to do it to you as well. You do it because you want to. You do it for no reason at all. You do it just because you care about the other people, you respect the other people, and you love the other people. So the last one is, it is you who decides what it is allowed inside your brain. Just as how I began this presentation, I said, it is your choice to listen to me or not. It is your choice to listen or let it slide or just go past your ear. It'll be your choice to listen to me and watch this video in the first place. And if you're not listening to me, as I said earlier, you'll basically be wasting your time. Go do something else. I would rather you do something more productive than listen to me if none of what I'm saying will stay in your head. So it is you who decides what is allowed inside your brain. It is you who decides what negative things go inside, what positive things get inside, what you learn from, and what you just let go, that you ignore, basically. You ignore it. So it's really you. You cannot put the blame onto other people. That's another thing on being positive. You never put the blame on other people or yourself because there is no one to blame, because there is no mistake that was made. For the stuff that's allowed inside your brain, yeah, it's really up to you. If you want to keep feeding your head with negative things or positive things, maybe you're not noticing it, that the stuff around you may be negative. People may be bringing you down. You have to first be aware of it. That's the first step of being positive, is letting the positivity come in, allowing the positivity inside and letting the negativity out, and not letting the negativity in. Even though I would call myself positive, negative stuff still come in. Not all the time I'm able to be positive. Some negative stuff do get in. It's like a wall. There's a wall around my, let's say, brain. There's a wall around my brain and there's a gate. And some sneaky little negative things get inside from time to time. But mainly, if what I let inside positive things, that's the main thing that's going to be inside my brain. That's what's going to be stored inside my brain. So those are just some few tips on how to become more positive. And another thing that's also important is perspective. So why is perspective important when it comes to being positive? Well, sometimes your positive thinking will be different from other people and you shouldn't force it onto them. You might think of a positive thing and to others it's not. There's a lot of cases where that happens, where you think you're doing something good, but to others it isn't. And you have to respect that. And you have to respect the others' opinions as well, and with what they say. So how does changing your perspective help you in your daily life? Changing your perspectives on things can make it different. So different that you have never even imagined that something like that could happen. Looking at the negative and positive side of things, those are two completely different things. If you change your perspective into something positive, then how you see the whole world around you will change. Same with being negative. The whole world around you will be negative. You will be feeding off negativity and you will be drowned in negativity. And why you should respect other people's perspectives on things? Because you will start fights and arguments if you do not respect other people's opinions or ideas. Rather than telling them it's a great idea and telling them good things about it, and even if you don't agree with it, It doesn't mean that if you're if that doesn't, it doesn't mean that if you're saying good things about it, doesn't mean that you agree with their idea. Let's say I have a certain way of presenting and another person has their own way of presenting. Not one is better than the other, but if you do say that my way is the better way, they will not want to be around you. That's not a positive way of things. But you could say, oh yeah, can I suggest if you would like to do this or add this into your presentation? Because if you're saying, can I suggest, the liability doesn't go to you anymore. It's now onto them and they get the choice. You give them the choice and it's not forceful. It's not forced upon them. And if it's usually forced upon people, they will defend themselves sometimes, saying that that's not a good idea. That's why you should really pay attention to other people's way of seeing things. So another example is if you see things in a positive way, just because someone sees it in a negative way, doesn't make them less of a person. They're still a human being, and you can help them be better. But you shouldn't forcefully do it. Lead by example. It's like, for example, here in my slide, if you change the perspective on this, if it's upside down, you don't understand it at all. It's hard to see what my slide even says. Same thing with negativity and positivity. Some people that are negative cannot understand positivity and how to become positive. And some people that are now positive and used to being positive, they can't see the negativity anymore. So it's a good and bad thing. It's really what you let inside you. So to end this, I'll just leave a quote. It is to never give up, never let yourself be brought down by others, never run from your mistakes or desert them, never make others cry, never forget to say goodbye, and never hurt others. So yeah, I kind of stole this. Huge inspiration to the song Never Gonna Give You Up by Rick Astley. So this is a great way to kind of sum it up. Never give up. Never let yourself be brought down by others. Never run from your mistakes or desert them. Never make others cry. Never forget to say goodbye. That part, and not really part of it, and never hurt others. Should do your best to not hurt others with what you say and what you do, but bring others up. So thank you for listening. And that's the end of my presentation.
Wow, thank you, David. That is quite a lot of information about positivity, because I've had a few conversations that positive mindset kind of comes up, but I haven't had any one person break it down in such a length of time with the clarity that you have. So how long did it take you and to build this presentation of yours?
One day.
All right.
Yeah,
So
one
day.
Go ahead.
What inspired you to see the need to have this presentation?
When I was invited by Alira's mom, Tita Alaville, a few weeks ago, she asked me to present, and I thought, what is it that I can share to others that will be helpful? It could be leadership, communication, or positivity. And I thought, which one will be more helpful to other people? Then I thought positivity, mainly because the world around us, it's now filled with negativity, especially with social media. The speed and the amount of negative stuff that you can read and search upon, there's a lot of it that you can easily find. And at the same time, there's a lot of good things that you can find in technology as well. So one main thing, a lot of people around me and a lot of people in the world are quite negative now. That's why I wanted to point out positivity.
Thank you. I like how you break it down to it's all about you as a person, as an individual making that decision, despite everybody else and everything else happening around you that could go absolutely wrong. But it's about you and how you choose to relate with your circumstances. And that is fantastic. Now, I'll just bring it to you and anybody listening here. You see, your talk about positivity is something that is real and it affects our daily lives. But what if I told you that your topic on positivity is part of health and well-being that constitutes global goal number 3, part of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals? And just by talking about it today, it's a solution that you have brought up as one point of discussion and the highlights. And 2, it's a way for anybody who's listening to be able to introspect and listen and look out, 3, for their mental well-being. And at the end of the day, if you have a positive mindset, then that affects the rest of your body. And at the end of the day, you end up being more healthy and health positive, as they say. So I'd like to commend you, but I'd also like to bring to your attention about the Sustainable Development Goals. I don't know, are you aware about them?
I was not.
Okay. Well, through the what I will tell you is you can check out Kikau Cultures. I will put a link in the chat. You can check it out, as well as just read through it. And a lot of the things that you actually are interested in are livable, and we're looking out to make the world a better place, improve relations between ourselves as human beings, as well as make sure that our environment is absolutely fantastic, because that's the only way we're going to survive. And all that is covered in just one statement you said: positivity. So thank you.
You're welcome. It's my honor to be invited here and to be able to present. Thank you for the opportunity.
And any other comments or questions?
I was also like to add how it's actually sort of related in my presentation earlier, where being positive also helps me get to where I am today. As when I first started, it took a long time and I would consider it a huge failure. But if I thought negatively of it and let myself be brought down, I wouldn't have continued on and gotten better a year later. And I also really like their presentation and how detailed and well constructed it was. So thank you for being in gift and for sharing your knowledge and being an inspiration.
Thank you. I'm glad I could be here.
Thank you, David. Thank you very much. Thank you.